Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Starlit Shelf, where we talk about books, stories, and the authors and narrators who bring them to life. Today, we have Harriet Ashford back again, but she brought with her Gabriel Michael and Marie Mitchell, the narrators for her newest book, The Trouble with Love and Exposure. Welcome back, you guys. For all of you who don't know, we've done this before for like 2 hours and I forgot to record. So we are going to try and do this again. Hopefully, this will be a even better run than the last time.
Excited.
It's going to be great.
Pumped.
Well, I actually have a kind of interesting question. It's a little bit more emotional, right? And I feel like, if this is for everybody, but if you don't feel comfortable answering it, it's fine. Just let me know. But would you rather shit every time you sneeze or puke every time you cough? I've been wondering about that. That's an inside joke from The Trouble with Love and Exposure, something to look forward to.
Yeah, you're welcome for that.
Seriously, what's the answer to that?
I feel like you have to ask me when I don't have a cold because most of the time I would go with the shit when you sneeze one. But I'm one of those people, every time I have a head cold, I'll sneeze like 20 times in a row and like all day long. And I'm like, I just got over being sick. And so that question has kind of terrified me. Any other time, though, I would go with that.
I hate a cough. Like even by myself, I hate a cough, but I love a private sneeze. So I'm gonna keep that like pure, but we can mess up the cough.
Love a good sneeze.
Yeah, that's a good point. No, I'm like Trevor. I've got allergies. It'd be over for me, so it's definitely gonna be the puke.
Yeah.
I hate puking though. Oh my God, it's the worst.
Yeah, it is the worst, but I feel like after like having children and you like the morning sickness, I'm like, whatever. I puked for 3 months straight with both of them, so it's fine. Yeah.
That was going to be my answer too. I feel like I've gotten used to that
Yeah.
feeling and I don't
like
cough as
whatever.
often as I sneeze. And so I'd rather deal with that. But you guys, me and Harriet did kind of talk about some new questions. So not everything is going to be exactly the same as our previous interview because obviously that would be redundant for all of us. But Harriet, my first question is for you. How was your release day? So her book just came out on the 12th. Congratulations. How did that go?
Oh, it was really fun. I absolutely love connecting with readers and being able to celebrate. And it was really cool having family in from Wisconsin. That was a really big surprise. And yeah, it was really great. I did miss Marie and Gabriel, though. I'm like, oh, that was my favorite event ever when we all got to do it together. But
you had a good
this was
crowd,
good.
it looked like, too.
Yeah.
That's
It sold out
awesome.
within 48 hours, so I was
Oh my
pretty
gosh,
happy with
girl.
that. Yeah.
Congrats.
Thanks.
Do you guys all have anything planned in the future together yet?
Not
Or no?
yet.
Okay.
Not
Okay.
yet, but I'm sure Harriet will think of something.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
yeah. We'll figure it
And
I
out.
the
think
last,
Gabriel and I have an event in September potentially. We're not like attending it together, but we might both be at Love Among the Pages.
Wait, yeah. Okay, that's actually huge. Yeah, that's gonna be a lot of fun.
I just got accepted to that one as a narrator, so I technically need to ask my new job for time off, but I'm gonna try to make it.
Marie, yes, you have to go. You're gonna freaking love it. I mean, I know I can't speak for your boss, but like, let her go.
Right?
where is that at?
London, Ontario.
Oh, okay. Well, that went in a different place than I thought it was going to go. I was like, okay. That was a bit different.
A little international, but not the international kind of London you think it is.
Right.
So Harriet, I think the last time we talked when in the unrecorded version of this, and there wasn't a set date for the audiobook. Is that still true?
There will never be a set date, and I hate that, but that's how it goes for indie authors.
Yeah.
So, first of all, it depends on when Johnny's like working tirelessly on it, but it's really, I gotta wait for him, and then I'll review it. But even beyond that, even if I was like, hey, Johnny, we really need it done by this date, then it depends on when Audible says, yes, you're good to go. They don't give you a set date. They don't let you pick one for indie authors. It is when they get it, they get a chance to review it, and then they just send it out.
Is that probably one of the most frustrating parts about being an indie author when it comes to audiobooks?
It's pretty frustrating, but at the same time, it's like, you know what? I could stress about this, or my readers will just be excited when I tell them it's out. And so you just kind of roll with the punches.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like we talked a lot about Johnny last time as well. We should have gotten him on here.
Darn it. Call
Oh
him now. Let's
yeah.
see.
Yeah, let's shoot him a message really quick. Hey, Johnny, you want to join in on this and talk about it?
I would love that.
So, how did you guys first connect? I know that I know that this is kind of redundant, but I do want people who are tuning in to know this. So, how did you guys first connect?
No, that's okay. I don't know that like how much we went into the story last time anyway, but essentially, I a ghostwriting job fell into my lap, and so like I had a little bit more of a budget, and I was talking to Marie about wanting to do Love and Coaches, my second book, but the difference was Love and Coaches is a dual point of view, whereas Love and Ink was just from Emily's perspective. So I always wanted the guy in there. Also in the book, April is a really big audiobook nerd, so to me it like made sense that like we really do it justice. So once I had a little bit of a bigger budget, I like talked to Marie. Like as soon as I got my ghostwriting check, like seriously, as soon as I got it, I texted Marie. I was like, "Hey, do you think this will be enough?" And she's like, "I think it'll be enough for us to be picky." And I was like, "Bet." So I went home and I was like, "Okay, number one pick, Gabriel Michael." Like seriously, like he was it. Like my number one pick. I was like, "I'm just going to start and I'm just going to try." And so like I type out this message, this really long, I think, cringe message talking about how much I love his work, but then also like I understand why you wouldn't want to work with an indie author or like blah 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 blah. Like so I type it up and then I was like, I'm not gonna send this. I text Marie right away. I was like, this is ridiculous. I'm wasting his time, I'm wasting my time. And she's like, just send it. Just see what happens.
Worst that can happen is he says no.
Yeah, I embarrassed
And we move
myself.
on.
It's fine. So anyway, I send it, and Gabriel he said he would do it, and so it's been a match made in heaven ever since.
Oh, that's so cute. So, Marie and Gabriel, what drew you to this particular project, The Trouble with Love? And I guess you guys started with Coaches, so
Yes.
Trouble with Love and Coaches.
I did The Trouble with Love and Ink. So I was already completely sold on Harriet Ashford as an author. When I got The Trouble with Love and Ink, I was like, this is what I've been looking for. I've been wanting bantery, cutesy, adorable, but also still hot rom-coms. And I had a blast doing The Trouble with Love and Ink. So when she was like, let's make this one a duet, I was like, absolutely. And I'm a big believer in that you don't need a production studio, like a Podium is fantastic. All production studios, for the most part, are fantastic. But like, you don't need one to do this sort of thing. And Harriet made that a reality. So I got lucky that she brought me along for the ride with the other two books. And it's just been a lot of fun ever since.
What about you, Gabriel?
Oh, you're muted.
Similar to Marie, I wanted something with banter. And I wanted it to be cutesy banter too, which I feel like I would find better in the romance genre, maybe, as opposed to romantasy, which can be very great with banter, but usually it's like really charged and there's supernatural elements. And I wanted one that kind of like clipped along at a nice pace, and that was Harriet's story. Both Exposure and then First Trouble with Love and Coaches. I just felt like when the characters really get into those scenes, it's just the back and forth is so good, and then like the narrative through line like does not get in the way of that dialogue. It just supports it in a nice way. And yeah, I mean, the book read itself for me. You know, sometimes the work I do is very difficult, and I feel like this one, I mean, I had to earn. What was difficult were the emotional moments, which is another draw to the book as well. This one, I felt like the stakes were very clear, and they were written in such a very evocative and clear way.
Yeah, I love that. So Harriet, you seem like you were a bit timid to ask Gabriel to work on this project with you because you're an indie author. But Gabriel, I mean, how many indie authors have you worked with before?
Yeah, it's a great question. I love answering. I've worked with, I would say I work with a handful for the past, before 2025, I would say just a handful of them, mostly working with publishers, working a lot with Podium. But 2025 was just a different year. A lot of independent authors reached out to me, and I enjoyed the experience so much that by the time Harriet rolled around, I was actually I was I was welcoming a bunch of Harriets. I mean, there's no one who's like Harriet, but I really was welcoming the idea of filling my roster with that type of work, and just to see how would the workflow work out. Would it make me like my job more? Would it make me want to like my job less? And now in 2026, I would say that most of the books that I'm on currently are with independent authors this year, and that was a choice of mine. I've had to turn down a lot of big books with publishers because I wanted to kind of do something. I wanted to go at my own pace. I wanted to develop a different type of relationship. I wanted to not chase the job. I wanted the job to chase me. And the reality is, when an independent author is reaching out to you, not that they're chasing you, but it is a clear sign that I enjoy your work.
Yeah.
And that fuels me. Whoever wants me is who I want to work with.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and when indies, I swear, when indies find you and they're like, that's my voice. And they'll, oh, I'm sorry, like, oh, you can't do it for 6 months. That's fine, because you're the voice.
Right.
And it's so different than, like, sometimes the studio is just like, if you can fill in the slot, it's cool. And I'm like, okay.
What a big deal for an author to say you're the voice that they have pictured, because you know that these are their babies, you know?
Right. Yes, they're so invested in it, and it's a different world.
So I'm curious because, you both have worked, Marie, you're with Podium as well, aren't you? So what are I know there's pros and cons probably to both, but what's the biggest difference between working for a trad book versus like an indie book, someone who's been self-published?
I feel like if I have a question about anything in an indie book, I just email the author. Like, hey, how did you want this pronounced? And how did you want me, like, this scene, is she scared, or are we frightened, or are we angry? Like, I could go a few different ways with this. With a studio, not necessarily Podium, but like any studio, a lot of times it's just like, if it's not in the pronunciation guide, like, it's whatever the common pronunciation is. And I'm like, oh, make sure, like, with the author. No? Okay. I'm just going for it then. And it's kind of more in the interest of efficiency and streamlining when you're working with a studio than it is making sure you get every single little detail right, like it is when you work hand in hand with an author.
Okay, yeah. And I feel like it's the same with readers too, because when they read an indie book, like, I always encourage, like, you can always message the author and you can talk to them, because I know that whenever I've worked with an author, they love getting feedback from me. And it's like, I love that you would just have such easy access to them. What about you, Gabriel?
You feel like you get closer with the author for sure, because most publishing houses, they don't encourage a back and forth between narrators and authors, for logistical reasons, nothing nefarious, but it does kind of create like this is a no walk zone, no fly zone kind of dynamic. But I have seen, as of late, publishers have included in their emails, like, and we know everyone likes to talk on social media, but maybe try to limit it to these types of talking points. It's like, in a way, they're realizing you can't stop the beast that is human beings wanting to connect. And I feel like I get to be my full real self when I'm working with another author. I mean, I still try to be with publishers, but I kind of have to dial back the crazy just a tad, but independent
Nobody
authors
wants that. We want give it to me.
And I get to be picky. I'm one of those people that likes to work in a very specific way. Most of the times, authors who reach out to me, like, they're already working in a similar fashion. But sometimes, I'm like, I want my files to be labeled this way. I want to turn them in this way. And I like that you get to be yourself more. And I feel like the authors that who want me and who are even willing to wait for me, those are the ones who are like super accommodating, and I love that. I love that relationship.
Yeah, that's amazing. And, we talk about how these authors, they put so much time and effort into these characters. And it's like, when they come to you and they're like, you are what I have been envisioning. That's such an amazing experience. And so, Harriet, how did you originally picture your main characters? So let's focus on exposure right now. Okay. So how did you picture Trevor and Margot, and Marie and Gabriel? How did you translate that vision into your performances?
Yeah, so Trevor and Margot. So Trevor is a textbook golden retriever. I really, when I was writing him, was like, I want him to sort of be like Riddick from the Empyrean series, a little
Oh.
bit of Josh from Lights Out. Like I wanted him to be goofy and
Mhm.
playful. And Margot, we needed someone to like calm him down. I had a question at Books by the Bay. They were like, "Why did you have that dynamic?" And I was like, "You could not have two Trevors. It would have been way too much chaos." So we needed like the black cat energy to calm him down. So someone a little more subdued.
Yeah. Okay. And how did you guys bring these characters to life?
I trust Harriet's writing in that. I mentioned this last time, but I'm going to say it again because there's authors who write with their eyes and there's authors who write with their ears. Harriet writes with her ears, but honestly, she writes with both.
Yeah.
And you can tell from her writing how she wants the characters to come across, especially since I think for us, we've worked on a book with her before. So we know kind of what she's expecting from us. But like, I let Emily in the first book, Emily was just me. Emily was my voice. Emily was just me. April's a little higher and she's so freaking sweet. I don't think that girl has like a bad bone in her body. And then getting to change that around and take the black cat approach where she's just a
Mhm.
little sassier, she's a little scarred, but she's still a good-hearted girl,
Yeah.
was just like, I don't know, I feel like each character was a little piece of a whole and nothing strays too far from like Marie as Marie, but like
Mhm.
it just makes it so easy when the books just fit that way.
Yeah. What about you, Gabriel? I feel like I remember last time you were talking about how Trevor was like an easy character for you. Like it felt really natural for you to be Trevor. Is that right?
Yeah, vocally for sure.
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay. Yeah.
personality wise too, he was I mean, whatever he thought, like he said, I feel like his rate of speech, he's a fast talker. So am I. I'm always having to slow things down for some of the more like mysterious men. Like I'm having to slow it down a lot. Um, and I feel like Trevor just like he clipped along. I mean, I remember when I started chapter one, or this is the first chapter that I'm narrating. Um, I just started talking, and then I was like, I was the moment I start, I said, okay, we're gonna have to slow this down eventually. And then like 30 seconds turned into a minute, and then a minute turned into five, and then the chapter was over with. And I was like, no, we're just going forward. Like we're just going
Yeah.
ahead because
Yeah.
this is what it is. Um, and I find that like I find the men in these stories, like not just Trevor, but the men in general in most of these stories to be positively goofy.
Yeah.
I'm always like putting chuckles in places that are like maybe not even supposed to be there. But this was the one character where I feel like I could get, I could get away with it.
Mhm.
Um, and it just felt good because sometimes I'm really thinking I'm getting like boy next door charm, like I don't know, I really think I'm really and mystery. Like I really think I'm giving it all, and then they're just like, yeah, maybe less is more. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. Hey, this was one where
Mhm.
I was like, okay, no, like what I'm putting down, they're picking up.
So
I'm dying. It was perfect.
a little birdie told me something about you, Gabriel. Speaking of the rate of speech, the speed of speech, I hear you're very passionate about the speed at which readers listen to audiobooks. Uh,
Listen,
can you
like,
talk about
okay, I have to, and I got to get a little bit closer for this. Like, okay, you can listen you can listen to however speed you want it at. No, you really can. Because like I have to eat my words because I was hearing some like informative audio that was sped up the other day and I was like, I needed this sped up. If it was slowed down, this would be too much.
Yeah, yeah.
But for goodness sake, I know y'all love the clout. Don't tag me and speed it up. For goodness sake, I had to tell someone that last week. I was so sweet, but she was so sweet. She goes, "I tagged you." I said, "Thank you. I won't post it though. Slow it down,
No.
because it's bad. It's bad."
We're already both naturally faster speakers than what most companies want us to be at. And then when you speed us up to 2 times, we sound like chipmunks. And people are like, listen to this clip. It's my favorite. I'm so glad it's your favorite. And I'm sitting here going, that is not me.
It's not. And then like, why is because I'm afraid that people are not going to realize it's sped up and they're going to think
Mhm.
that that's just like, that is our
Yes.
true rate of speech. And I'm like,
Mhm.
no, please don't do that.
Yes.
Okay, so I have a question off of this for you guys, for the narrators, okay?
Mhm.
And it's a would you rather.
Oh no.
So, Would you rather narrate the opposite sex only for the rest of your career, or only listen to audiobooks at 2 times the speed forever?
That's terrible. Oh, I don't know. Especially after being sick, I kind of feel like I could do the dude thing for
No,
a
I'd be
while.
having fun with doing the girls' voices in the dual
Right?
POV. I really do.
I don't know that I'd actually get hired to do a male voice for the rest of my career, but
Yeah.
I might opt for that versus
I need to
listening
listen
to
to Ink
chipmunks
because
for all time.
I've never heard your male version, Marie. I've only ever heard your female version. So
I don't do a bad Beck, I feel like, in
No,
the Trouble
she
with
did
Love and
great
Ink.
in Ink. She did great in Ink. He
yeah,
was very sexy.
I try not to do, I know that there's, but on both sides of the gender spectrum, that there's the jarring change for some people, for some narrators when they do the difference. And like my goal as a narrator has always been to not scare people and change it drastically. That you just,
yeah.
you want to know the voice change. So
Okay. So back to a serious question. What do you think audiobooks add to indie stories that readers might not get from the written page alone?
nuance.
Hmm.
We and Gabriel are both good. Honestly, I partially learned to because of Gabriel, because working with Gabriel in the last book, I learned to lean into those sounds in between. When you want that chuckle, when you want that sigh. I
Mm-hmm.
started in narration technically in 2016 when it was still very much read the frickin' book and like put on a light voice. Don't
Mm-hmm.
really overact it at all. And these days, it's still not overacting, but people want the conversation should sound like conversation. It should just not just be a line. It's okay to sigh. It's okay to gasp. It's okay to chuckle.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, especially in these two books, like we brought that and it makes it a lot more realistic to listen to.
Yeah, absolutely. What about you, Gabriel?
I feel the same way. I
Mm-hmm.
think that also thank you, Marie, for that lovely compliment. Thank you. Um, I think that it gives the stories even more body to them. It gives it, out of all the descriptors to describe a written text, it just gives it its own tone.
Mm-hmm.
And the more books of a particular genre get produced well and get produced with that level of immersion and that level of generosity from those readers and those actors, it creates just an even more of a even more categories. And it just it helps build that community. I'm going to mention that a lot probably in these interviews, just like this community. I'm just so impressed by it, the way it regenerates itself, the way it replenishes itself. And I think the audio is part of it. I think we're just like, we are a people that just like want stories to have even more legs to them. And the audiobooks, I really think it allows people to really feel like there's even more stories out there to tap into with a click away on an Audible app.
Yeah, and I feel like it's just so much more of an immersive experience. I mean, we turn to books for a source of escapism, and there's some readers who have the capabilities to have these like pictures in their mind while they're reading, but a lot of people don't. And I think that audiobooks are a great way to get even more into that world without needing the pictures in your mind. It just helps you to feel the feelings of the book even more so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
like you think the banter is good on the page, wait till you hear them like going back and forth. You think the arguing is intense, wait till it's in your ears. It is so good.
I cannot wait to listen to Exposed. I cannot wait for the end of that book. I can't wait to hear Guy. Guy's like my dude. I love that guy.
He does a great job with Guy.
Yes,
Like
he
Guy
does.
is so good.
Did you have to prep for that character at all or no?
You know what? No, like like the moment he entered my view, I knew who he was, but I second guessed who he was when spoilers, but his fate got a little grim there for a while, and I said, did I give him the wrong arc? Like, I was like, is he supposed to be a character that's supposed to go out with a level of dignity?
No.
And like, I was like, and I just made a fool out of him. And that's what I thought. And then he was like, hey guys, I'm back. I was like, nah, I did. It was perfect. It was perfect.
Exactly.
Did you, so I don't have this written down, but did you two have a favorite person that you voiced in The Trouble with Love and Exposure?
Well, okay, so Trevor, I mean, I don't get to do a lot of Trevors as far as like my main character often.
Mhm.
So even though I had him for the whole book, it felt just like for me like a really exciting cameo performance wise, that
Mhm.
I may not get to do again for a while.
Yeah.
So I love Trevor. Um, you know, I liked doing oh gosh, I'm horrible. What
Virgil, you talked
Virgil?
about Virgil, yeah.
Yes, I loved doing Virgil. I just like I think I mentioned last time, I
Mhm.
imagine like my drama teachers in high school, and like one in particular, Mr. Devers, he passed away my senior year. And I kind of like use him as like my base for Virgil type characters, whether it's like the mentor that you can trust or the mentor that you think you can trust, and then like they betray you. And I was like, how would Mr. Devers sound if he just flat out was like, I'm evil? And then,
Yeah.
and I was like, what would that be like? So Virgil just gets nastier and nastier as you go along. I kind of want to make him a little bit scary in some of those scenes.
Mhm.
Uh, so I like Virgil.
Yeah. All that to say, I like Virgil. What about you, Marie?
I really loved B in this one.
Mhm.
I've had a lot of opportunities, oddly, to be an old man in books, but I don't often get the opportunity to be an older lady in books. And I even messaged Harriet as I was going into it because I was like, we can make her sound like an old woman, or we can just make her sound like, more mature, like mom style voice, like
Mhm.
whatever you want to do. And she's like, no, let's go for the old lady voice. And so that was fun. And she's just like, she's a little sassy herself, but she's also still kind of the mom figure in this one and still kind of like the voice of reason, and just really like super sweet. I liked the little old ladies that were birding, like just getting to like pop in with like random voices repeatedly. And oh, that was a nuthatch. And I'm just like, their conversation, the little birding ladies, is so cute that apparently I just like playing little old ladies. I don't know. Give
Can
me the
I
audiobook Golden Girls.
can you give me a little snippet of B? Is that okay? Not to put you on the spot, but can I get a snippet?
I need like a almost like a line, but like
Like a script.
she's just a little she's a little lower, but she's also just,
I don't know.
dear, you
Oh,
just
okay.
got
Yeah.
mm.
Is there like a quaver to her voice a little?
Yeah, she's just
Okay.
got the tiniest bit of like the old people quaver
Okay.
going on.
I love that.
The geriatric quaver. I shouldn't say old people.
I need to start adding that into my performances more. I feel like whenever I'm like try to do like an older person, I always just use my teeth, and they end up sounding like Blythe Danner. Like they're just like all the time. They're right here with my teeth, and I'm like, why? Who's talking like this anymore? Like,
I always feel like who's the old British guy in like the Batman movies. You know who I'm talking about? He's always my like go-to for old men in my head, even if they don't have like a British
oh,
accent
is
at
it
all.
Michael Caine?
Yes, thank
Yeah.
you, Michael
Yes,
Caine. He's
yes.
always kind of back there in my head when I'm doing older men. He's just got that grandfatherly thing going
Yeah.
on. So
Yeah,
it is
yeah.
like a female Michael Caine.
So, Harriet, what was your favorite scene of each of their scenes? So, what was your favorite Gabriel scene? What was your favorite Marie scene that you've
Ooh.
heard so far? Can I just make it exposure? Is that okay?
Yeah,
Okay, let's just do
yeah.
exposure. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really hard to pick because I love all of it. And I made a note. I don't know if I'm sure y'all saw it when you were going through, like, because what we do is when you mark up, you're like really looking for mistakes. And like one time I like had to mark up because the two of them together just did it, like, it blew me away. But I could seriously mark up the whole thing because it's just so incredible. But like Marie threw, like, knocked me off guard because it was like a line that I wrote that I was like, ooh, yeah, this hurts. But it was one that like I just kind of had forgotten about. It wasn't like one of my favorite parts. It wasn't one that like really impacted me anymore. And then it got to it, and I'm not gonna be able to do it justice. But it's the part where Margot is talking to B. No, sorry. It's where Margot's thinking about talking to her grandmother, and she says, "Why doesn't she love me?" Like, because basically the whole thing is that her mom doesn't love her like she loves Anderson, and like she had this heart like breaking like quiver, and I was like, wait a second, nope, 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 nope. Like, why is this impacting me so much? So, I'd say that for Marie.
Okay.
That's what you
Um,
get for writing those lines, though.
what'd you
By
say?
the way, that's what happens when you write those lines, though.
My
You
bad.
hurt my heart. I'm going to hurt it back.
Yeah. And then for Gabriel, There was so much freaking banter that I loved. But I think I'm sick and twisted, and it was so painful and so raw that it was the end, the moments when he's so hurt and he's so scared. And I was like, this is so
Mm.
powerful. It's so good.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, wait, what chapter is that again, Harriet?
Yeah, because Gabriel,
So
you
I
talked
should
about
have
that
these
last
memorized.
time too, didn't you? Because weren't you in pain?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
so the day one of recording, so this was a 2-day record for me. And day one, I had woken up with I had tendonitis without realizing what that was. And I just thought, okay, I must have slept just weird on my arm. Um, and I'm going and also when I'm in pain, I tend to speak faster too. So that's why I was thinking like, why I'm really kind of like off to the races at the start of this book. And then as I kept recording, just as my arm is just dangling there, it just felt like it was throbbing. It was in so much pain. It was getting worse. And I was like, is it getting worse or am I in my head? And let me try to like lift it a little bit. And I was like, oh my gosh. And now it's just like, it felt like someone has punched me so hard multiple times with like metal. And so when I couldn't take it anymore, and I was like, I'm probably not even going to do like more than a couple chapters,
Yeah.
then Trevor got hurt. And he got hurt and
Perfect.
stayed hurt for a long time. And I was like, you know what? The narration isn't pretty, anyways. I'm just going to grunt and scream and bitch and yell in my narration. So I'd be like, then I had to drag my foot out. And I'm doing this because I'm wanting to like, I'm out of breath because I'm in pain. And
Yeah.
so I'm like, look, I'm gonna be Uta Hagen with it. I'm gonna transfer this pain into my character, and I'm really
Yeah.
gonna be a smart actor.
You're like
That's the
causing
way to
yourself
be.
more pain so that you can really bring it to the character.
Yes, and honestly, and from that moment on, when he got hurt, for the rest of that recording session, I was able. I think I went for another 90 minutes. When prior, I really thought I only have like 5 more minutes in me,
Mhm.
Yeah.
recording. So
It was
Well,
like an outlet, right? Like whenever you can't, I don't know. I just feel like when I'm really hurting and I like have to be quiet or like there's people around me, it's really hard. But like for whatever reason, when you're able to like express like this freaking hurts,
yeah,
it's
yeah,
like it feels
yeah,
better.
yeah.
this kind of goes into another question, but were there any scenes that challenged you emotionally or technically while recording The Trouble with Love and Exposure?
The the emotional scenes where she is hurt, like both the emotional scenes where Margot's hurt because she's kind of flashing back to her childhood and how she was always like second fiddle to her brother, and her grandma was kind of like a step-in mom for her. Like those really hit hard, and they weren't technically hard. They were but emotionally difficult to get
Yeah.
through,
Mhm.
especially because it's not uncommon in any book where like you end a chapter on like a really emotional note and then the next chapter there's something else completely happening and you've got to frame shift real quick. But
Yeah.
also like the scenes where she's helping him out and he's hurt and
Oh,
she's
yeah.
got to be both
Yeah.
stoic, but she's of course like horribly upset, but she's just like I think that the scene where she's trying to get his boot off of his very very
Yes.
injured ankle.
Horrific.
Mhm.
And I did it first just trying to be stoic, but I think like the second take that we went through where you can tell she's damaged as she's doing this, but she's just trying to get him through it.
Yeah.
Like that's a hard thing to do in only a couple of words.
Yeah.
To, like get that across on both sides. And of course he on the other side is in horrific, horrible pain. So it's a lot.
Yeah.
That whole ending of the book was just a lot emotionally. It was you threw me through a loop, Harriet. I was getting like whiplash. I was like, what is going on?
No one believes me. I have been
Oh,
telling people for months, I'm like, this is a romantic suspense. And like, I have a list of trigger warnings on my website. And it's so funny. Like, I got a review the other day and she was like, 3 stars. No one told me that he was going to be held at gunpoint, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, check the trigger warnings. They're all there, sweetie. Like,
I need to talk with her. I need
oh
to
my
chat.
gosh. But yeah, it definitely went in an intense direction. But I also was laughing. Like, I don't,
Yeah.
there were certain, like, guy just got me. He was like one of my favorites. But, anyways, what about
I
you,
think he was the
Gabriel?
perfect comedic relief for those
yeah.
scenes.
Yeah. But Gabriel, what about you? Did you have any specific scenes that were a little bit more challenging than others?
I think it's like while I had so much fun with Trevor, there are some pretty big stakes in this title, especially in the end. And so I had to kind of like get out of like goofball mode though and really like lock in and really sell the threat of spoiler alert, Jude. Um
Yeah.
and this really sell that threat. Technically also Jude's voice, like again, you caught me off guard multiple times, and so I was like, gosh, I was like, here's another one. I sometimes want to give my like villains or characters who have a turn. I sometimes like want to already give them the voice that they are going to reveal later on. It's a habit of mine. So I think it's actually fine with what I did with him, but I'm always like, when I'm auditioning, I need to stop doing this. Like I'll do a take and I'll realize, oh wait, no. But they say the character is like manipulative later on. And then I'll give like the most manipulative take all the way through. And then I'll be like, maybe that was a little too much. Maybe we're giving it away too much. And so Jude was a character that I was obsessed over. Virgil as well. I was just like, am I going to, are they interesting enough? And I was just like, nah, just play. Harriet's writing, like as an actor, my professors would say, like, when you get into your head, just play the action. And Harriet is a perfect case study as a writer for when you get bogged down in your head as the actor. Just trust the writing, because she gives you everything you need, and it will clip along. And through that doing of the work, the natural behavior of the characters and their thoughts and feelings kind of come out of you as the actor.
Yeah. Harriet does such an amazing job. I rom-com you want to say label as like easy, like an easy read, but she adds so much depth to the story and characters, and I just get so sucked in. Harriet, I cannot wait for your next project. I seriously am so excited, and I hope
I'm excited too. I can't wait to hear this or
I
read
gotta
this.
stop calling it a cozy fantasy, because I don't think it's gonna be cozy anymore. Like,
okay, well, you call these rom-coms and they're rom-coms.
I was like, let me just label it from the beginning. I'm like, the only thing cozy about it is small town, because all these horrible things are happening to the characters. I'm like, this isn't cozy.
This sounds so cool, though. I'm so excited to read this.
Also, Gabriel, now I know that if you start to sound shady while doing another character, I'm like, oh God, this guy's gonna totally like turn the tables in the end. Like, I know now.
It's audible foreshadowing. We love it.
It was so funny because I listened to The Trouble with Love and Coaches, and then I switched after that to the Book of Asriel, and I was like, oh, it's Gabriel. This is a question I actually didn't get to ask you last time, because Gabriel, you've done some well-known characters. And so have you ever been recognized only from your voice? And that's it. Like someone hears your voice and they're like, Sam Keel, or, Trevor.
Oh, like out there in the real world?
Yeah.
No, only one person has actually just like recognized me, but not an event or something, or just like they're like on the train and when I was in New York. No one has recognized my voice yet, although there are some games I'm on. I can't say because it's NDA, but the beta came out for the game and people were like, who is this actor? And one person was like, I could be crazy, but I think this could be this actor named Zayden, because the game world is very different from the book world. So this person didn't assume that anyone else in the comments would know who Zayden was. So they're kind of giving like a bit of a preamble, and I'm like, oh no, they're gonna know when I announce.
It's very rare that you have a gamer and a reader at the same time, because it's like you can't commit fully to both.
Right.
But I like to play video games. So I'm curious, what video games have you done voices for?
Fire Emblem.
Okay.
For Nintendo, a game I used to play all the time, and they've made like so many games. I played Cloud. He's like a high priest. I love him. There's a game called Axiom of Maria. What is and it's three people in the game. The main girl, this kind of mentor figure, and then a hacker who kind of like lives inside her ear, and I'm the hacker. What's his name? I'm so bad.
So how do you do that? Because did you start with books or did you start with video games, and how did they cross over? How did that happen? I'm sorry, this is going off topic. This is me just curious.
No, you're good. So I I started working in books, but my goal was to kind of just like hit it all at the same time. I think I got like in my commercial demo created like 5 years before I would ever book a single commercial. Whereas the audiobook stuff, I was getting into that at the same time I did my commercial demo.
Mhm.
So and I kind of like put a video game together myself, a demo together myself. So it was just like, let's see who bites. And like no one wanted to rep me for animation, video games, or commercial. I just was so new in my training. But a company had wanted me for audiobooks and wanted me full time. And companies don't ever just want to hire someone on salary to do audiobooks full time. There's a catch with everything. You know, I
Yeah.
don't want to say anything, but
It's
there's a catch
true.
with everything,
Yeah.
people. But that job that I did take in audiobooks, it was able to kind of sustain me, teach me about engineering. I was able to make even better demos myself because now I'm an engineer. And then finally, I think 2 years ago, I got signed to Atlas Talent in New York City, but they also rep me nationally here in the United States. Big shout out to Kaya Freight to help me get the agent. I've always wanted this agency, and we met at a coffee shop. And by the way, when I met Kaya for the first time, like just one-on-one, um, it was like we were at this French cafe that I love in New York City, and she looks at me and she goes, "I know you," and I was like, "Were you?" She goes, "Yeah, that audiobook job, that audition that I did to book that job, she was there. There was like 6 of us, and doing this callback, and I remember there was this pretty black girl who was like cute, and she didn't get that job, and she soared in other ways, and she entered the industry through video games, and so now it's been really good. I say if you get trained on the audiobooks, you can do stamina wise, I think you can work in any of the other genres. You know,
Yeah.
to do this job takes a lot of patience. So when I get to do a video game or a commercial, just time wise, it feels like such a treat, such a vacation.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Marie, how did you get started into audiobook narration?
I actually went to school for TV broadcast back when that was,
Oh yeah,
radio and things like that were still like a
I
big
do
deal.
remember this.
Yeah. So I had a friend who, like 10 years after graduation, wrote a book, and she asked me to help her engineer the book. And in going back and forth, I was trying to send her samples of like, this is how it should sound, like what you're sending, like the quality is not good enough. And I ended up voicing the book, and it just ended up kind of being like that was really fun. I had done radio imaging, which is, like this is WBUR, like
Oh, okay.
10 TV Boston, like just really short, like what Gabriel's saying now, like that feels like a vacation to do now. But at the time, like I would only use my voice, like voice, like an hour a day when I was doing radio imaging. So then stepping into something where I was recording for hours at a time was hard initially, and still is sometimes. But like it really gave me the first attempt at long form voice stuff, and just kind of, I was like, this was cool. Let me go like put my stuff on ACX and see what happens. And then I just accidentally walked into Candy Steiner's arms and did one of her first audiobooks when she was first starting out in all of her book stuff. And now she's gone off to be amazing. And I took a break for a while after having a baby because the baby moved in where my dang studio was. And now that she's older, right? When she was big enough that I could leave her alone, not alone, but like I could step away for an hour or so to do books, I got back into it last year, and it's a whole different world in 2025 and 2026 than it was in 2016 and 2017. But it is so much more fun, and it is so much more of a you can be yourself kind of thing, and you can take on the jobs you want to take on instead of just taking on whatever lands in your lap, and that's wonderful.
So Marie, I also had a little birdie tell me something about you too.
Oh no.
Yeah. I hear you are a D&D fan.
I am. I am now. When I started D&D, I had never played it before, and this group of wonderful people was like, how about we stream? And you just figure it out as you go. And that's what I've done. And now I've killed people, and I've maimed people, and I've been launched through the air, and I've eaten chicken dust and all sorts of other crazy things. And it's just, I don't know, D&D is so much fun. Everybody should do it at this point.
Fried chicken dust is high in protein. Anyways, but I have a question for you.
Yeah.
So which D&D class would Trevor and Margot be, and why?
Oh my God. I feel like actually Margot would probably be like me, and she would take, I was terrified of like the crazy classes and the magic and trying to figure all of that out my first go around. So like my character is a human warrior, but she's a little badass, and she's also just a little oblivious, which is sweet. And it just makes, I can focus on the storyline, and I can focus on what's happening instead of being like, and now I've got to figure out how to charge this spell. I feel like Trevor would go full in on being the weirdest thing that you can picture.
Is he
He's
like a
going
wizard?
to be like a purple gnome dwarf
100%.
wizard with some crazy archaic like thing that he specializes in.
And he would do it in style.
He would. And it would somehow, anybody else listening to that would be like, what the hell is this? No, you can't pull that off, dude. I don't want to play this game with you. And he would pull it off, and he would be everybody's favorite character by scene like 3.
Oh my God, I love that. A purple gnome. So I actually have a question for you. And you guys, my drink is strong and I've been drinking it this whole time. So pardon me. But Gabriel, I kind of have a question similar for you. What astrological sun signs do you think Trevor and Margot are?
Our expert.
Gosh. I feel so bad. Did you already give them a birthday, Harriet?
No.
Okay.
No, but I'm going to use what you say.
Like, can I just say, I finally looked up like my birth, like the chart. I don't know what it's called. It is so disrespectfully accurate. It is ridiculous.
Oh, I can't wait to hear this. Oh my God, Gabriel, are you like really like good with these? Are you?
Yeah, I mean, like I enjoy it a whole lot, and so I could think I'm giving you like 2 minutes of knowledge, and really it's like 30 minutes because you guys keep talking.
It was a great dinner conversation, though. Like, I learned so much from Gabriel at our dinner. I was like, holy crap, I had no idea.
Oh my God.
Also, that explains so much.
Right.
So, Harriet, did you find out what your big 3 are? Is that what you just found out?
Okay, I just know, I looked it up a while ago, and I just know it's a Sagittarius moon, and this is why, like, I'm scattered, and why I can't focus, and why I became a teacher, and like, blah, 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 and I'm like, okay, so this is what's wrong with me.
Could also be ADHD, you know.
It could be. I had to go to a doctor to figure that out, but I think it might be.
What was your rising?
Dang it, I don't know.
You want to hear mine? I know
it all up.
Yes, Sarah, tell me yours.
I'm an Aries sun.
Okay.
I'm a Scorpio rising, and I'm an Aquarius moon. I feel like the Scorpio rising, I feel like I give off black cat energy, and so I feel like that's fairly accurate, but I don't know. Tell me.
So Jessica 3, she's a narrator of mine. She is an Aries with a Scorpio rising as well. I know another narrator with that placement. They're both super talented, so it means you're talented. Okay. But for real though, Moon was Aquarius, you said?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm always like been jealous when people have like an air moon, because it's just like it's like the emotional placement, and air is a very breezy emotion. It's not a very emotional sign. So it means that your emotional life, it doesn't mean that it can't be complicated or chaotic or cause you distress at times, but it does mean it's a little more cut and dry. There's a little bit more resilience, I feel like, when a person has got some air there in the moon, especially Aquarius in particular, because with Aquarius you're getting air energy, but you're getting a little bit of kind of that fixed earth energy because it is the fixed air sign. If there is like a sign of the air sign that is stable enough to be the parent, I feel like it would be Aquarius. Libra tries to act like that's them, but they're real fake. They're lying. With an Aries, like, I feel like you have to have a very discerning eye with things. There's got to be something that you're hyper opinionated about in your life, because Aquarius already has like this "you can't sit with me" type of energy in terms of like intellect, and then Aries is just like, they're like, yeah, that and then some. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's good. And then I feel like, but with your rising, discernment again, because you're a Scorpio rising. Yeah. So that's going to give you, like, yes, people are going to get an energy off of you, but that's also going to give you a bit of like a knowing gravitational presence, in general. I mean, you got very strong placements. You didn't have any weak ones there. So
that's right. But what about Trevor and Margot? What do you think they are? Just
sorry.
Sun sign.
Okay, Trevor. He's not an earth sign. I'm gonna pause. I'm gonna put a pause on the water, because I could see some Cancer energy in him for sure. He's petty enough, I feel like, to be a Cancer. As a Leo, I could see him. He wasn't too vain to be the Leo, so I'm gonna skip past that one. Sagittarius, yeah, I could see a Sagittarius for sure. Sagittarius is like to think of themselves as like these truth bringers, and he's a journalist, right?
He's a
travels
sort
a
of.
lot.
I
That's
mean,
the
he's
only
a
thing I know about a
photo
Sagittarius.
journalist.
No,
Yeah.
right. I forgot. He's like, no, he's okay. So, well, a Sagittarius would think that that's real journalism. So, like,
True.
so there you go. And then I feel like with Margot, we had that black cat energy. I mean, I feel like there's some Virgo energy in there.
Ooh.
I want to say Capricorn, but like she kind of needed a little bit more
Oh.
motivation in order to like pull through a little bit. I feel Capricorns know how to motivate themselves.
I feel like,
that's a
yeah, she
lot.
was a Capricorn, but because she had to be, like, her
Yeah.
mom just like left her alone. It wasn't like she was naturally that way.
Right. Oh, gosh, I feel like what element would you think, Marie, for Margot?
No. She's a lot, dude. Like she's
Yeah,
just...
what's her most, like, as someone who narrated her, like her most descriptive trait?
I mean, she is really down to earth, but again, it's like she got forced down to earth. So I almost wonder,
I was
like,
gonna say she's grounded, and so like
yeah,
I was thinking
grounded is a
Earth,
good word.
but like I don't know.
She likes birds, though. There are certain signs that are just not going to sit there and learn about some birds.
Yeah, that's true.
But I say that though because I feel like, but Harriet's a Gemini and she like had to learn about these birds, and so it had to be fun enough for Harriet. Like Gemini get bored the most, so like if Harriet found the birds fascinating, who knows?
Wait,
Like,
Gabriel, aren't you a Gemini?
I am.
Yes.
I am.
Somehow I feel like that makes so much sense between you two.
No, it
But
really
you're talking
does.
about the Aquarius thing. It cracked me up because my husband's an Aquarius, and I feel like that stuff is why Harriet and I get along so well.
Oh my gosh. My friend, my best friend, her mom and dad's Aquarius, the mom is a Capricorn, and they've been together forever. Mm-hmm. So there you go.
It's funny, my husband's a Scorpio, and apparently Aries and Scorpio are like the worst mixture ever, but like we make it work. I don't know.
Make it work.
Make it work. You make it work.
But so I do have some more fun questions. Do you guys want to keep going with some fun questions?
Yeah, let's do it, right?
Okay, so Gabriel, how familiar are you with book 1 of the Trouble series?
You know what?
You're not.
I'm not that familiar.
Okay, no, that's fine. Well, we'll just this one's you're gonna be fine. Would you rather be rich like Beck, hung like Gabe, or have the job of your dreams like Trevor?
Did Trevor get the job of his dreams? He did.
And this is for everybody, okay? This is not
rich. It's rich like Beck. It's rich like Beck.
You're gonna ask me? I'm gonna be hung like Gabriel.
Yeah, girl.
You know what?
I kind of feel like I'm already Gabriel because he's like my name, so it's like
right. You just get to claim that.
Right.
I feel like if you're rich, though, you don't need to be hung because you can pretty much get whatever you want.
You also don't need like the job of your dreams, right? Because like you can just do whatever the heck you want every day. If you want to, if narrator was the job of your dreams, you're just gonna do it now. Nobody has to even hire you. You're just gonna do it.
Well, okay. Well, then, Gabriel, you're not included in these next questions. Okay.
Oh no.
Okay.
No, I'm just joking. You can answer.
I'm gonna grab some water. I'll be right back. I'll do your thing.
So it's a fuck, marry, kill. So. Okay, so fuck, marry, kill, Trevor, Beck, and Gabe. Both of you.
But, Marie, you go first.
I have my answer, baby. I have my
You're
answer.
locked in.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna marry Trevor.
Me too, girl. I'm marrying Trevor.
I'm probably gonna fuck Gabriel, and I'm sorry,
That's
Beck.
what I
Like
said
Beck's such a good guy, but also Beck, I don't know, man.
We have the same answer, literally, because I love Beck.
He's a really great guy.
But we can only pick, you got to. And I'm marrying Trevor and Gabriel.
And like Beck had trauma, of course, but like his trauma wasn't self-root. I mean, I guess it is. He blamed himself, but you know what I mean? Like it wasn't something that happened to him so much as around him.
Yeah.
And like he grew through it, but not as much as the other two, maybe. Yeah. Like if I'm gonna pick a life partner, I'm gonna need, and I know he was being a self-made boy, but like at the same time, he didn't have to. No. Just go be a rich philanthropist.
Yeah,
like,
see, that's,
I don't know.
Like
there's something hot about Gabriel.
I
want
like
somebody to take me out for tacos.
Yeah. Tacos. So I feel like my answer is similar to like the previous answer because I would marry Beck because he's got the money. I would fuck.
I guess that's true
because he's hung, and then I would kill Trevor because I don't need him.
No,
my heart. I feel like listen, Gabe's done plenty of MM stuff, and He can fuck, marry, kill the boys as well.
Yeah.
No, I was just saying that because he doesn't know
Beck.
who Beck is.
But he's gonna kill Beck. Maybe
Yeah.
You're
well, no,
familiar
but
with him as
Beck
the
is
rich boy that brings the planes,
Gabriel, Beck
though.
is
So fuck, marry, kill Trevor, Beck, Gabe. I
feel like
said
he's gonna land the same way I did.
I would marry Beck, fuck Gabe, and kill Trevor.
It depends. Like, did Gabe already get me into shape?
Oh!
Because if he already got me into shape, I could kind of be like, die heroically for me.
Think about the extra bonus of having like a built-in fitness coach. Hold on.
Well, I mean, I could do cardio with Gabe. I mean,
I feel like the villain answer is to go with Beck. It's like, and so that sounds about right for me. I'm going to go with Beck. I'm going to go with Beck. I'm going to, because I know Trevor is going to make me laugh.
That's my reason too. I don't think anything's sexier than funny.
I
need
cardboard box.
Like, I really do. Like, I need funny. So I'm going to have to marry Trevor.
No one agrees with me.
Sorry, Sarah. You're wrong.
Does that mean you kill Gabe?
No, you're gonna kill Beck, right?
I'm gonna kill Beck. I'm gonna kill Beck only because I didn't narrate the book, but I kind of do like money. But no, for real though, like I would think if I killed Gabe, I'd be like, dang, like you're not gonna be in shape for the rest of your life. But if he already got me into shape, you know what I mean? I'm a Gemini. I've already learned his secret power now. I've stored it forever now. I already got it.
Mine.
Well, now we have to do the girls, right? Okay, so April, Margot, Emily.
Why is this harder?
I'm fucking Margot.
Misogyny.
You're what?
I'm fucking Margot.
And I'm going to... Margot is right. Yes. Yes.
I don't know. I feel like April and Emily are so similar in that they've got like driven and self-made and like.
What was Emily like?
Emily was really afraid to take chances.
She's got imposter syndrome. Finally chases her dream. She's
a Capricorn all the way.
Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
She's a little sassy too. Not as sassy as Margot, but she's a little sassy too. April would be so sweet though.
I know.
To have as a wife.
April is who I would marry.
April's gonna make you the freaking birthday cake and do your laundry without complaining.
Killing off both characters from my first book seems so evil, but like I think that's it. Yeah.
It's just seeing the growth you've had through the books.
That's what it is.
I think that is an accurate representation of that. So, okay, next question. Fun question or a serious question?
Yes.
Fun,
Which one? Which one do you want?
Serious.
She's just
serious? You want serious?
You want serious?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Serious. Okay. Looking ahead, is there a type of character or genre that you'd love to narrate that you haven't had the chance to yet? And this is for Gabriel and Marie, obviously.
Ooh. Okay, so I really want to do war stories. I think I said this last time too. I just like all of it, like the gory parts, the tragic parts, the beautiful parts, the parts about the landscape. Like my favorite war to study is the Vietnam War. I think a lot of just like the art and the culture that came out of that time, I think it's just like been so timeless. And I feel like I have a voice for it for some reason. Like war seems like something so different from me, but I feel like there's something about like the life of like a traveler, of a soldier who has traveled versus like me. And I've moved 18 times before the age of 18 that I feel like I understand what it's like to kind of like, your home is where you carry your head. And if that's on the battlefield, like, yes. So sorry, it's a really deep question, but I want to get into it.
No, I like it. Is there a specific book or movie or anything that really inspires you to go in that direction?
I love The Things They Carried by Tim O'Brien. I think it's just like every page, every paragraph of that book is just so good. And it's a book that challenges truth. And like it plays upon that whole like what's a reliable narrator or unreliable narrator. You don't know if all the stories you're hearing are accurate or not. Are accurate enough. And I feel like it almost makes the examination of what's happening in those stories, just like that discourse, even heavier. So I love that. And then I'm not a Brit, but I would love to do Great Expectations. I feel like I would give it a very dignified read. And there's some very strong female characters in that book. And I think I would give them so much dignity.
I have never read that book.
Sarah,
Do I need to read it? Do I need to read it?
do you like classics? And he wrote by the word, so he's really, really writing.
I don't think I've really ever read many classics. Like I've tried, but I just haven't gone into it. Like I think I tried Pride and Prejudice and I was like, I can't get into it. I don't know. Maybe it's
Okay,
just
you may not get into Great Expectations.
Yeah, I love Nightingale.
Okay.
And Hannah, but that might be a little bit different. Marie, what about you? Did you have any genres or books that you would love to narrate in the future?
I really want to do middle grade. I want to. There's so many really good. I feel like even like 5 years ago, middle grade would have sounded like you wanted to like juvenile. You like who wants to do that when you can do these like great, amazing characters? But there are like really good middle grade books these days that just suck you in. And also, I've got this precocious little 7-year-old, and she's starting to read chapter books, and she's just. I would love for her to one day, like she does, I don't know if you're familiar with a Yodo, but it's like almost like audiobooks for kids. They put the little card in and it reads to them. And so she's doing all the Amelia Bedelias and stuff like that. But I'm like, one of these days, my ass is going to be on all these cards that goes in a Yodo. And it's going to be like a middle grade book. And I would love, there's so many like really good series for middle grade. So one of these days, like I feel like everything that's out there right now already has like a dedicated narrator. But one of these days, it's going to be me. I feel like this year I got to do other things that I wanted to do. So that's next on my list.
What I love about that though, is that that's what sparks the love for reading, right? That's where it starts. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but when I got into reading, I think I was in 6th grade, maybe 6th, 7th grade. And so that's when my love for reading really, really started. And I feel like it's such an influential stage in a young reader's life. And I feel like that's amazing. So
I made sure to prioritize from like the day she was born, she's gotten books read to her every single day. And now that like, as this is like 1st grade right now. So like it has slowly transitioned this year. She's learned to read from us reading stories to her at bedtime. That now she reads us stories at bedtime. She's really good at reading Elephant and Piggy books. And she puts voices in them too, which I know is from 7 years of having me give her every voice under the sun. And honestly, it's great practice every night. Like, can I pull off some of these like 12-year-old voices? Absolutely. Let's go. So like, I want to do something, kind of something she'd be proud of, but also I think there's so many middle grade series that are just awesome these days. So I want to break into that.
So question off of this. So what was the first author or series or book that you fell in love with that kind of started your love for reading?
Mine was Once Upon a Marigold. And I know like hardly anyone knows this one, but basically the male main character boy ends up taking an arrow for Princess Marigold, and I was like, oh, like this is it. This is what I need. Like I need someone chivalrous. I need someone heroic, and like it was done after that.
I love that.
How old were you?
I don't know, like probably 5th grade, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh man, you were done. You're like,
I was
that's
done
the kind
for
of man
this
I
is
want in my life.
He would do anything for Princess Marigold.
I remember those. Just you don't remember the Bailey School Kids books?
No.
It was like I was reading them, I think, in 1st or 2nd grade. And the titles were all like they followed a very specific format. It was like it was all centered around like these kind of like ghoulish figures that would also teach in this Bailey School Kid system. So it'd be like werewolves don't teach basketball, or like Frankensteins don't plant petunias, or like witches don't teach the cheerleaders. Like that's what it was called. And I just remember the very first one was like it was like werewolves don't go to summer camp. And it's all through the POV of I can't remember if it's 3rd person or 1st person. But it's just like they're always afraid of the teacher. There's rumors that the teacher there's something off about them. And like with each chapter, you're trying to figure out, is this a werewolf? Is this like, like he's like he disappears on them, and then there's like wolves howls. You got to, it's like Harry Potter, you got to put the pieces together. But I liked that. And then Holes, I think I read Holes.
Oh, Holes,
Yeah,
yes.
that's when I was like, oh yeah, I'm reading a Pulitzer book. I saw the little
Gold
Pulitzer
stamp.
thing on the book, and I was like, look,
Yeah.
Mom, I got 10 AR points here.
Yeah, I feel like a whole like. Did anybody else
AR.
read the series of unfortunate events as
Yo,
well?
that
Yes.
too. Same time. That was at the
Yeah.
same time.
I was like,
I
Holes
never
and
read
that
those
go like
ones.
hand in hand for me.
Goosebumps. Were any of y'all into
Goosebumps, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
but then I was
Or
mad because
scary
it was like,
stories to tell in the dark with the
Oh,
creepy ass
those were
drawings.
too creepy for
Oh
me.
my gosh.
see, Goosebumps was my first choose your own adventure. And when this rat
This is
cornered
so
me and
good.
ate me, I was like, I'll never read this again. I'm
Yeah.
pissed.
What about you, Maria? Did you have any like ones that like you think of when I say sparked your love for reading?
I was a pain in the ass as a child. Like I read really early and my parents introduced me to the dictionary, so I would stop asking them what each word in the book meant. So I don't remember like super early, but I do remember a book called The Ear, the Eye, and the Arm. And it still sticks with me to me this day. They were not like superheroes, but like I don't know, something with that book. But also the Mixed Up Files and Miss Basil E. Frankweiler. Like these, I don't know, those two books were like I think my earliest ones that I really like stuck with me, and I was like, these kids are so cool. I want to know more. Like the first time I remember really feeling like I went into that world, and like you get called to dinner or something, like you're like, no, I'm busy. I'm somewhere else right now. Like those were the first times I really remembered feeling that way.
Yeah, I the books that got me into fantasy, does anybody know Piers Anthony? Anybody? Like this is
So
like high fantasy. I remember like I did that reading level assessment. Did anybody else do that? And like
oh
I
yeah,
found out I was like in 12th grade reading when I was in like 7th grade.
yeah.
And so I was like, oh, I'm gonna read all these like cool books. And I picked up Piers Anthony, but it is like that is what sparked my love for fantasy specifically. And it was like full of puns. Like it was really I don't know, but I love it. Anyways, that's my
I
answer.
never got into full like true fantasy
Yeah.
until I was an adult, I think.
Yeah.
And I mean, I read like the Lord of the Rings and stuff like that, but
So I still haven't read I literally just bought hold on, let me find them. Where are they? I just got these.
Mhm.
So I'm like, my
Beautiful.
goal this year is to read this little set of Lord of the Rings because I'm like, I love the movies, obviously. I mean, they're like a masterpiece, but I feel like I need to read the books as well.
Yeah, I just
Has
finished
anybody
reading The
here read
Hobbit to
them?
my daughter.
Yeah, my
Oh,
my
wow.
mom read The Hobbit to us when we were little, like a chapter a night.
Mm-hmm.
And
We kind of did like a half a chapter, but I will say like doing all of the dwarves, that's like a vocal workout, friends. Like you ever need to like warm up for something, be ballin' and dwallin' and oin and glowing and everybody else all at once. So.
Yeah, you do individual voices for every single one of them?
I try to treat I know it's such a silly little thing, but when I'm reading to her at night, I try to treat it almost like it's a job, and everybody's gonna have a damn voice. And it does help you in like future books then to like keep track of like it's such a thing to keep track of different voices in a book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so like having these ones that you almost programmed into yourself really helps. So like, it's like a twofold thing.
It's an opportunity to practice your craft. So why not, right?
Exactly.
Right.
So Harriet, I know we're getting close to the time that we need to wrap up. So Harriet, do you have any advice that you would give to other indie authors who are considering turning their books into audiobooks?
I would say that it's okay to wait until you have the budget to produce the quality of audiobook that you want. Because I feel like having Marie on Troubled Love and Ink, that was a dream come true. And then having the duet performance that I really wanted for coaches and for exposure, it was so worth the wait. So yeah, that's my advice.
Okay. And do you guys have any advice for indie authors who are looking to hire narrators?
Reach out to us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In a lot of cases, people, I literally just saw a TikTok the other day. The girl was like, well, I can't do this because it's going to cost me a minimum of $10,000. Absolutely the fuck not. You can have a duet with a fully produced engineer separate and do it for half that price in most cases. Like there's no reason to not reach out to us and make it work for you. So
Wow.
You know,
Okay.
talk to us.
And I say like, do it with it's a relationship. You're going to have a
Yeah.
relationship with that narrator, and you got to think about that when you're kind of interviewing. If is this person making you feel like they would help hold your hand through this process? Is is that the type of narrator you want? Do you want someone who will do that for you? Know what your needs are. Know what you bring to what you already know. What literally whatever you think you know about audiobooks or how that would go. If you're a person who has those preconceived notions, bring them to the table, because the narrator will tell you if you're on the right path, or if you kind of need to course correct. And don't be afraid to start early conversations. And if you don't have the budget, but you want to hear someone read 600 words or less,
Yeah.
narrators will give you they'll give you an audition.
We're all ready for snippets.
Yeah, but 5-10 minute long now. 10 that's too long. Just give it 600 words, and you'll get some really good traction. And pick narrators who have narrated before. I always say leave a little bit of room in your heart for a dark horse to come in there, but you are the dark horse. Your book is getting out lucky it's getting out the door. So hire people who know what they're doing, and then you can take a chance on maybe someone who's not established when you are more established.
Don't use AI.
Yeah. Just don't do it.
Don't do it.
I have a question though, because what would you guys say, Gabriel and Marie, what would you say to people who are thinking about getting into narration? What advice would you give them?
Do it.
Do it. It starts with the space. Just if you carve out around, just like, again, I don't know everyone's needs, but I'm 6'2", I'm pretty tall. Just like normal 8 to 9, 10 feet ceilings, 4 feet, 4 feet.
Is this house? Are you in your house right now? And that's in your house?
Yeah, I'm in my apartment. Yeah.
Okay.
And this is but yeah, this is a giant, huge closet. That there's nothing in here but recording equipment.
Interesting.
But still though, like 4 feet by 4 feet, some places have little indents already. You can use a part of a closet, but once you have the space, from there you can do so many things. If you're a person who's great with constructing things and you're like, no, I know I can have a bomb ass recording space. Okay, great. Then that probably means you're going to be ready to deliver audio that is ready to be mastered of that level. If you're like, I'm not quite there, but I know I can kind of get a space together. Great. Once you have that space, you at least, once you get demos, you can at least do the audition from home, and then they can bring you in studio for many cases. Most audiobook jobs, most people do them from home. But what it takes to have a studio ready for recording is much more expensive than you would think. I would say if a person's like, I want to do audiobooks more than anything, I want to narrate them, but I have absolutely nothing in terms of the tech. Let's say they have the space, but they haven't bought anything for it, a microphone, monitors, nothing. I would say for under a stack, they could get it all. And I'm talking about ready to deliver studio quality recordings.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of the time that you're willing to put in. It's so much less expensive than it was even 10 years ago. 10 years ago, getting an interface and a microphone and stuff like that. And even then it was cheaper than it used to be. God, the microphones I worked with in radio and stuff like that, your average microphone was $2,000. And that was back in 2008. These days you can get what most people are using is $150 mic from Rode that has unnatural lack of self noise. So it makes as you're stepping into learning how to edit audio, you're not figuring out how to balance a microphone, right? You're just figuring out how to make you sound good, which was not a thing 10 or 15 years ago. You had to know so much more. And these days you can get a literal plug and play USB mic and still sound fantastic. And when you're ready to do more, you can do more. So really then it becomes the time that you're willing to put in. You need to test yourself. Nobody just walks out there and gets their first book. Every narrator I've ever spoken to hates their first book now. Even if their first book was 6 months ago, you learn so much in those first few books that you're an entirely different narrator if you keep at it. But because of ACX and stuff like that, and because of indie authors, there's a lot of work out there that you can get if you're willing to take a chance. And sometimes it means that you don't get paid the first few books.
Yeah.
But if you're willing to do that to make a name for yourself, then there's space out here for all of us.
Yeah. And I feel like that goes with any craft, you know, when you start out, it's just such a lesson learned. Everything that you do, you're like, okay, what did I learn from that? And how can I improve upon that? And it's, you know, I feel like Harriet probably feels the same way comparing book 1 to book 3, right?
Well, even the book that I worked on for 10 years that'll never see the light of day, it was just me figuring out what really does not work and what does.
Yeah. So who would you guys take with you to a fight, Bee or Guy?
Let me get Guy stoned and I'm going to take him.
You will feel no pain.
He's going to show that tramp stamp and everybody's going to like run out of the ring.
No, he's based on someone in real life. Like we were working at.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah, so we were at this testing desk. So students come in to do testing, whatever. Well, the parents have to prove that they are their parent to pick them up. We just can't let these children loose with strangers. Well, this guy doesn't have his ID and he's like, "It's me, look," turns around, lifts up his shirt, has his name tattooed on his love handles. And I'm like, "Sorry, sir, that's going in a novel. Hate to tell you."
You are now a book character. Thank you.
Exactly.
Oh my God. Okay. So I do have a couple more fun questions. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Which villain do you hate more, Clay or Jude?
So Clay from book 2. I know it's been a while.
Clay.
I know. I had to confirm with
I knew it.
And I was like, that's the dude that sabotaged her bike, right?
Yeah.
Clay was crazy. I was worried that Clay was going to die just because I was like.
Clay probably deserved it.
If it was romantasy, he would have died.
Gabriel would have finished him if it was a romantic.
Finished. I've even seen some, you know, an MM romance, like you're dying. Like they're mean over there.
Yeah.
And with Jude, it's like I felt bad for Jude.
That's what I was gonna say. I feel kind of bad. I feel like he was put in a shitty situation and he didn't know what to do.
He panicked. He felt like there was no way out. Okay,
really quickly, what happened to Virgil?
Like he gets in he's in jail. Him and Craig. And they all, so because Jude ended up tattling and was like, well, they're the ones who paid.
Is it in my POV or is it in hers where that gets talked about?
It's yours, but it's a monologue at the end. And it's like a big old paragraph.
It's just kind of like a short, real quick, like, this is what happens.
Okay, because I was like, dang, did Virgil get away with it all?
No. What if I was like, oh no, I forgot. What about Virgil?
Okay, so what is everybody? And I'm going to answer too because I want to. What is your favorite book of all time and your go-to recommendation for others?
Oh,
God.
I'm not ready for this.
Oh.
That's like asking me to pick a favorite child and I only have one.
Right.
Like, so for a person who doesn't know where to start with reading, so not a romantasy lover, not a thriller lover, like they're like, I want to start reading. What should I start reading? Like, what would you recommend to that person?
Emily Henry. I would recommend an Emily Henry book. I guess I would pick.
I just got Funny Story.
I know. I told you that last time.
Read, yeah. I actually feel like Harriet's books are really like in that super easy to read, super easy to get into, and like love them kind of things. If you want romance, I would say Harriet Ashford.
Thank you.
I started like the thing that got me, I guess, really like super into like I can't wait for the next one was the Kay Scarpetta books by Patricia Cornwell. I should not have been reading those at age 11. But like, I don't know, like if it's an adult and you really like, you want some mystery, there's a little bit of hotness in there, just a tiny bit, but good mysteries, especially if you're a fan of police procedural like shows on TV.
Ooh,
that's a good book series to get into for certain readers.
I'm just remembering this series that I read a lot of, and back when I was a kid, Goddess of the Night. Okay. My sister would read these all the time, and she would like read them to me because I was like, oh, I'm looking it up right now. I have to see this because like, I'm like, you know, like I'm like, am I making this up? Was this a real thing?
There's so many times I feel that with books. Like I remember something I read last year that really hit me in like a hard way, and then now I don't even remember the name.
Right.
Okay, so it's by Lynn Ewing.
Okay.
It's the first book in the Daughters of the Moon young adult paranormal series.
Ooh, I've heard of that.
Published in 2000 about teenage girls in Los Angeles who discover they are mortal goddesses with powers chosen to fight an ancient evil called the Atrox. So it's giving Sailor Moon.
Oh, cool.
And I just remember like the books, like the covers are really cool. All the women are like these they're goddesses of the night.
Love that.
It's really cool.
Those are cool covers. I like
mine.
Yeah.
This is mine, and it's an indie author, but I think she passed away. But please tell me you guys have read this.
No,
I haven't heard of that.
Mindfuck. Oh my god!
Well, now I want to.
Please, it's so this is 5 novellas, and I think I finished the audiobook in about 3 days of all of them. In 3 days.
Nice.
Saint Abby, is that her name? What is it?
Stabby, St. Abby. Stabby.
Stabby.
Yeah.
Stop.
It's like, you know the show Dexter?
Yeah.
So you know how he's like a vigilante and he's like
Right.
unaliving all these bad people? Well, she's unaliving all these bad people that wronged her family, and it's so good. It's so good.
Yeah, she's got
It's an indie
just
author.
on Amazon, which you know they have less reviews than Goodreads. It's Goodreads 4.6 out of 114,000 ratings. That's crazy good.
God
Don't
tier
remind
series.
me. I turned down a book the other day that was like popular. I didn't realize who was the producer, and I'm like, mad. So I can't look at ratings.
Don't look. Okay, so final question, and this is kind of leaning towards Gabriel. Sorry, bud. Would you rather be a shadow daddy or a lightning wielder?
Ooh, okay. I think it's Shadow Daddy.
That'd be
You
my
know, I
answer.
really do think it's Shadow Daddy. Like, I do love
do.
lightning, but
Yeah.
I feel like, and honestly, I would have thought Shadows was played out. I'm like, okay, of course, like you're wielding shadows. How dramatic. But then I look back at it and I'm like, no, like you can do a lot with the shadows.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's like an element of force that's like very undiscovered. Like we know a lot about lightning. I've seen a lot of lightning iteration things. I haven't learned a lot about shadow, not enough. So I'm like waiting for like the anime that's really going to give us like the deep dive on someone with shadow powers.
Yeah, I feel like lightning is strictly raw power. But like shadow, there's a lot of
More
potential there that we don't know yet. Like we can do so many things like shielding and like he can use it physically to like grab stuff, right? Like am I right?
Yeah.
So
in this scene where like I can't remember, but it's exactly what it is. But there's a bunch of people and they're like learning. It's like a training session, and he has it where it's just covering so they can't see him and Violet. And I'm like, that's hot.
Yes. What about you, Marie? What would you be?
Shadow Daddy through and through.
For sure. Okay, you guys. Well, we are officially done. Thank you so much. Do you guys have anything that you want to tease the viewers with? Do you have any upcoming projects that you want to talk about really quick?
I'm about, we've talked about it before, but I am about to embark on a cross-country move. I'm moving about 3,000 miles away to an island, and I'm taking my booth with me because of course I am. But it'll be about a month before I'm set back up again. And then first thing out the gate, I have a book with Podium, the 3rd book in the Angel Mountain Christmas series. It will be a little weird to record Christmas in June, but you know, that's part of the business. I also have another Razzie Cat Cozy Mystery series coming up. And I also want to say, like, we talked about D&D a little bit, but every other Friday, this coming Friday, the 22nd being one of them, the Punch and Roll for Initiative D&D group is all wordy, dirty, nerdy narrators. It's all just your favorite, like, romance smut book narrators doing D&D. And so if you're ever interested in that sort of thing, we stream on Twitch and we have a Discord and we're very cool. And usually half of us are also drinking during that as well. So if you ever wanted to hear your favorite Shadow Daddies playing warriors or you know, whatever happens in D&D games, like come and hang out with us.
I love that. I feel like I would get into D&D because I loved Skyrim and games of that sort. So it's like, why wouldn't
exactly.
Like,
I've always loved gaming. I had just been too afraid to do like an RPG. Like that's a lot of pressure, man. And so I'm still, this is literally still my first time ever playing, but we have like almost 30 episodes out at this point. and we've been playing for about a year and a half, and it's just crazy how it takes its own life. So
I love that. What about you, Gabriel? Do you have any upcoming projects?
Well, Fury Bound has just come out, I
Yeah.
think a couple weeks ago. It's doing really well, so that's an exciting read. The graphic audio, they I feel like a couple productions were on halt for a while, but they're back on. So finally we're gonna get the second book to you mentioned it earlier, Sam Keel of
Yeah,
Gods
Yeah,
and
Book of
Monsters.
Asriel.
yeah.
Yes, we're gonna get that, and part 1 and part 2 has been recorded as well.
Oh,
So like
okay.
we're really really excited to hear that story. I'm excited for the Legacy series by Melissa Rorick. Melissa, I am saying your name wrong. I'm so sorry. Um, was really excited for that series. It's always it's exciting to unveil like a new MMC for me at Graphic. It's always really exciting to see kind of like what the fans think of it, how they're going to
Yeah.
take to that world. So there's that, and then I'm just these video games I'm waiting to come out so I can announce to y'all where you can hear me.
So, Gabriel, I have to tell you, so I interviewed an author yesterday and I was very, aware of whether or not I was recording. Thank you guys for making me hyper aware of this. Do you know how many times I've checked this little talk that we've been
have to. And I
have
trust you.
Okay,
But...
the recording thing's up there. But she mentioned during the interview, she was like, I just got done reading by Sable Sorensen. And she was like, oh, I inhaled that series in like 5 days. I was like, I'm interviewing the narrator for that tomorrow.
Oh, good. I'm glad. Like that
Yeah.
series was one that kind of just I had narrated it on a rush. They came to me at the 3 weeks before they needed book 1 out. And because of that, I just didn't associate it with like a big book because it was so last minute for me. And to see it blow up and everything, it's really, really exciting.
Are you the
I love his
MMP?
shit. I am, yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
Congratulations. That's amazing.
Thank you. There's the name's Therian Stark, and I'm playing Theon, Therian, and Thane right now in series, and so I'm always asking like, is that the right name of the character? They're like, you're good. I'm like,
start
okay.
getting a lip or something like that. And Harriet, do you want to talk about any upcoming projects that you have?
Yeah, I'm working on my not so cozy fantasy, which I'm loving. It's a lot of fun. But mostly I'm really just excited about the audiobook for Love and Exposure to come out. And if you're not already signed up for an ALC, you can listen to this book for free. So if you just look on the link in my bio, sign up that way. We just need reviews. So yeah.
Heck yeah.
And the Trouble with Love and Exposure is out already.
It's out now. Yes.
So you can already start reading it if you want to.
Yes.
And if you guys want to hear more from indie authors or need help discovering hidden gems, don't forget to like and subscribe. And until next time, happy reading.